I had actually decided to work on this biography already. I had a year off from work. I had sabbatical already planned. But at the time, I had no idea what shape it would take or anything of that kind. It might have worked out as to a couple of papers or something like that. I had no idea. When the call came out, I thought this would be a way to test out whether there's a project here. I'm not a historian. I come from literature and film studies and so on. So here I'm kind of embarking on an archival and other project, and here it was like kind of a history fellowship held by historians, well-known historians. So I thought, okay, let me try out, see whether this works. For me, so it was a confidence-building exercise for me in the first place. So when I got the fellowship, I'm like, oh, okay, so I can trick the historians. I know how to do that, right? So that's how. So for me, that was the primary motivation, to try this out, see whether this works out, and what it gave me was ample confidence to actually embark on it as a full-flown book that now I'm kind of working on. The writing itself was guided mostly by the archives itself. So because I'm writing the life of a man about whom I know only what everybody else knows because he's a public persona, the moment I started getting material that was not in the public domain, I had to leave what I already knew out and actually then go with the flow of the material that is coming through. So I remember in 2019, early 2019 is when I first tried out a chapter. At the time I had no idea how long the book would be, what all it would cover. I had no idea. So I started from birth, like man's birth kind of thing. And I wrote a chapter and ended with about 7,000 words. And I kind of liked what I wrote. And I then took a set of decisions. One, this is going to be the chapter length. Roughly 6,000 to 9,000 words would be the chapter length. Second decision I took as a way to discipline myself is to decide that I will not, as opposed to what I usually do, write long footnotes. So I decided that I will only have references in footnotes. So things that I cannot put in the main text is out. So either I have to find a way to actually make them part of the main text or it's out. And I've managed to do that over about 180,000 words, right? So none of this was planned. So the first chapter, I think the first chapter gave me a set of parameters which then I've actually followed through finally. Yeah. So actually what is most interesting and I think important to kind of underscore is that completely the archive guided me, and the story was not mine to tell in a certain sense. I had to just find a way to organize it. That was my job. Yeah. Now the thing is that the man I'm writing about is well known as a film star. So people know about his life after he became a film star and the various things that's come out about his life, past life, stuff which has come out after he's become a star, right? So once I went back in time to actually the original records, there are a lot of things that clearly was not correct, including dates which are taken sacrosanct, including kind of sequencing of his life. A lot of things changed in the way I was writing about it. So then when I started following him through the film industry later, I think like a certain kind of opening happened within film history itself, which wouldn't have happened if I was writing a film history from a film historian's outside point of view. I followed him through. So one of the things that happened interesting is that I got interested in failures. So a lot of projects that wouldn't take off. So because it's a man's life, something that's not working for him was as important as something that worked for him. But if I was writing film history directly, I wouldn't pay much attention to the films maybe that did not work out, that was announced, did not come out, but because it was interesting. So there's a whole kind of line of thinking in the book is about failures. How do we understand things that did not materialize, and why would some things materialize, and why would some things not materialize? So these were new things that I kind of opened up in the book. Yeah. So I mean, for me, of course, money, that's good. But apart from that, so it also gave me, like I said, confidence was important, and that has stayed with me at various stages. But I think one of the most important things that the foundation did was to get Rivka on board. And I think Rivka has been an absolute precious person in my life in the last few years. And I've always turned to her for whenever I felt doubt, or whenever I felt like this is working. So even yesterday I was like, Rivika, are you sure this is working? Is the book really working? And she's such a nice person, and she's so diligent. So I sent her a draft after disappearing for months, and then she will send it back in a week, and then she'll shame me. So I want to work again. So it's like she's been absolute. I mean, shame me meaning by actions, not by words. So by actually doing work on time, right? So that was great. So I think that has been great. So that's a complicated problem because I am an academic, and my writing is usually directed at an academic audience. So I write in journals and stuff like that. So here, because it's a biography, I want it to be of interest to a non-academic audience, but I want my academic audience to still feel like this is an academic book. Now, this is a major challenge. I don't know if I've kind of managed it. So I have kind of worked out some design things in the book. Like, for example, the biography is punctuated at 2 points with some kind of an analytical essay, which kind of reflects upon the life in a certain way. So those are standalone things that can be pulled out. The biography enthusiast can skip those if they want to, whereas an academic, somebody who's interested in film theory and so on and so forth, might be interested in that. Just last week, I also decided to include some translations into it. There are a couple of interviews of the man that I thought might it'd be good to use it fully. So that I've not done yet, but short ones. So I'm trying to also kind of give crumbs to various kinds of readers and say, okay, take this, but try the other one too, kind of a thing. I don't know. I mean, it's a real difficult thing. I mean, I have no idea. At this point, people around me who are reading it are the audience. My friends who read chapters once in a while, listen to my stories. Who knows beyond that? Yeah. To an academic audience, say for my students or something who might find the book, I think that it might tell them that you can write different kinds of books. You don't have to get stuck in particular genres and writing styles. Experiment in a certain sense. To a kind of non-academic audience, I might be saying, okay, you can have a research, rigorous, non-academic book in this particular fashion. So I don't know. Message, I don't know. But there is also, in terms of the content of the book, there is also the whole question about how to understand success. I'm studying a successful film star who actually comes from a lower caste community. So how do we understand success? People think that, okay, success or failure as two static entities. Is the successful, the person or an institution or anything that's successful only successful? Or is something that's failed only a failure? So I think I want to complicate that relationship. That might be something I want to say for us to be more open about looking at the world in that black and white success-failure model.